children, today I am going to explain you about the directive principles of state policy. In the previous video, I explained you about the fundamental rights which are mentioned in part 3 of the Constitution. These directive principles of state policy are the guidelines and the instructions given to the state and the central government on how to frame their policies. That is very important. India is a welfare state, and a welfare state has to perform lot of functions of welfare. So it is very important for a country like India to follow these guidelines. So the directive principles of state policy together constitute a manifesto for securing and strengthening the socio-economic foundation of Indian democracy. In this video, I am going to explain you about the directive principles of state policy, their definition, and also the difference between fundamental rights and directive principles and the classification of the directive principles of state policy under different articles. Now, let me tell you, children, see, there are three organs of the government: executive, legislature, and judiciary. Legislature means it's a law-making body. Executive, which implements the laws. Judiciary is adjudication, protecting the laws. So whatever laws are passed by the parliament or they are executed, implemented by the executives, they keep in mind these directions while framing their policies, because it wants to make socio-economic development in the country, so that responsibility of executive and legislature is checked when they keep these guidelines in their minds. See, Constitution is the supreme law of the land. It is the fundamental law of the land. So at present, I told you before also, there are 448 articles in the Constitution and 25 parts with 12 schedules. In part 4 of the Constitution, these directive principles are mentioned, which are the guidelines, instructions given to the legislature and the executive, to the law-making body also, as well as to the executive, which has an authority of implementing the laws made by the legislature. You know, when our Constitution came into force, before it, the framers of the Constitution studied the Constitution of various countries, because it wasn't easy to frame a constitution for a country like India, which was highly diverse. So this unique feature of directive principle of state policy has been adopted from the Constitution of Ireland. As I told you that fundamental rights, this feature has been adopted from the Constitution of USA. So these directive principles are mentioned in part 4 of the Constitution from Article 36 to 51, and they are very unique for any welfare country. So these are actually the philosophy of the Constitution and is the soul of the Constitution. Then one important thing about directive principle, that unlike fundamental rights, directive principles are non-justiciable, non-enforceable. That means there is no legal sanction, no legal force behind the directive principle. It depends upon the state and the central government whether they enforce them or not. Then also they promote the concept of a welfare state, that is to look towards the socio-economic and political welfare of the people of India. Now children, I'll tell you the difference between the fundamental rights and the directive principles. It is very, very important and frequently asked. See, fundamental rights are mentioned in part 3 of the Constitution, whereas the directive principles are mentioned in part 4 of the Constitution. Fundamental rights are enforceable, justiciable in the courts of law. That means if anybody tries to violate our fundamental rights, we can go to court of law and seek justice. Whereas there is no legal force, no legal sanction behind the fundamental rights. So this is the major difference. Then, fundamental rights, they tell the government for not doing certain things, which is in contrary to the rights of the people. So, but directive principles are positive in nature. Why? Because these directive principles gives instruction to the government to do certain things in favor of the citizens. Then fundamental rights aims at bringing about political democracy. That means your political rights, right to give vote and right to get elected. Whereas these directive principles of state policy aim at socio-economic development or democracy in the country. Social means that no discrimination should be made on the grounds of caste, color, creed, religion, sex, place of birth. Economic means equal opportunities should be provided to all so that each person of country is able to fulfill their basic needs. So these are the differences between the fundamental rights and the directive principles. Now I will come to the classification of directive principles. See, they have been classified into these categories. They are the socialist principles, Gandhian principles, and the liberal principles. Socialistic directive principles are also known as socio-economic directive principles, which are mentioned in Article 38, 39, 41, 42 and 43. So first I will explain you the first category of the directive principle, that is socialistic or the socio-economic principle. Under this category, the state shall try to secure the welfare of the people by securing a social order characterized by justice, all three justice: social, economic and political justice. State shall provide adequate means of livelihood to all citizens, men as well as women. Then they also aim at equal pay for equal work. No discrimination should be made on the grounds of gender. Gender equality has to be there. Then to protect the health and strength of the workers, men and women, to protect the children from entering avocations which are unsuited to their age or strength. Then Article 39, it promotes equal justice and to provide free legal aid to the poor. And also the state shall ensure and make provisions for securing just and humane conditions of work and for maternity relief to women. These are some of the socialistic or the socio-economic directive principles which are mentioned till Article 43 of the Constitution. Let me come to next, Gandhian principles. See, Gandhiji is the father of the nation and he had certain dreams for our country. And so these dreams, they have been written in the form of directive principles. Gandhiji always wanted the upliftment of the village sector, rural area, rural development. So to fulfill his dreams, his aspirations, these principles have been mentioned under the Gandhian principles. Under this category, to organize village panchayats and endow them with adequate powers and authority. It is the lowest unit, smallest unit of administration. So autonomy should be given and also village panchayats should be organized. To promote cottage industries, also the handicraft industries, cooperative bases in rural areas. To promote the educational and economic interest of the weaker sections of the people, and also to bring about prohibition of the consumption of intoxicant drinks and drugs such as which are injurious to health, such as liquor and all. So these are the dreams, aspirations of Mahatma Gandhi. He also wanted to organize the village panchayats and also wanted that agriculture should be prioritized. He also wanted to organize agriculture and animal husbandry and to take steps for preserving and improving the breeds and prohibiting the slaughtering of cows and calves and other milk and draught cattle. These were the Gandhian principles. Now I will come to the liberal directive principles. Under this category, The main principles are to secure a uniform civil code for Indians and to provide for free and compulsory education to all the children up to the age of 14 years within 10 years. So, to secure the separation of judiciary from the executive. See, judiciary is the third organ of the government. It has to be separated, it has to be independent so that it can dispense justice without any fear, favor, or ill will. To provide free legal aid to the poor so that justice is not denied to any of the citizens because of their poverty. These were the liberal principles which are mentioned till Article 52. There are certain amendments which are made in the directive principles. These are 42nd Amendment, 44th Amendment, 86th and 97th Amendment. Means changes which are made in the directive principles. Some of the critics, they criticize these directive principles on these grounds. The grounds are that they are not enforceable, they are not justiciable in the courts of law, there is no legal force, no legal sanction behind them. And also some of the critics, they criticize them that they are illogically arranged and the classification is not proper and they are not practicable. Also, there is constitutional conflict between the fundamental rights and the directive principles. So this was all about directive principles. I hope, children, this was quite very informative. Stay tuned for my next video which I'll be uploading very soon, children. Thank you very much.